You've already heard about the Ramakrishna Vivekananda Vedanta movement in Brazil, how it started and how there was an impetus or there was a big push to the movement because of one institute, Swami Ramakrishna. I've already told you. I'm showing you the pictures connected to the movement, Ramakrishna Vivekananda Vedanta movement in Brazil. So, as you see here, in the map of Brazil, you have 5 centers of the Ramakrishna, centers of Ramakrishna Vivekananda Vedanta centers, of which 3 are affiliated, independent centers. The other 2 are also affiliated. They are sub-centers of Sao Paulo Center. Okay, the next slide, please. So this is the entire South American continent, which has 12 countries, as you all know. South America has 12 countries, of which Brazil is the biggest country in South America. And in the world, Brazil is the 5th largest country after Russia, USA, China, and Canada. Brazil is the biggest country, 5th biggest country in the world. So it has a huge area, land area, but more than 1/3 of the land is covered by the Amazon forests and the river. A huge area is covered by the Amazonian forest, and that is the saving factor for the entire world. It's the breathing space, the lungs for the entire world. So it provides so much of oxygen, absorbs so much of carbon dioxide that there is a big movement uh, about preserving the Amazonian forests, not cutting down the forests. There has been a lot of cutting down during the previous government. This government, which is now in power, is very actively protecting the environment and the Amazon. There is a lot of mining that is going on. Brazil is very rich in a lot of metals, gold, and all these. So illegal mining is the biggest problem in the Amazonian region. So that has to be preserved, and the present government is doing. But there is a lot of political pressure, as you all know. So Brazil is such a big area. The centers that we have, the Ramakrishna Mission centers, as you saw in the previous slide, are only on one part of Brazil. Okay, so there are some groups in other areas, in Salvador, in the north, east. So they are not yet concretely formed. They are not very well organized, but there are some groups. Swami Nirmalakananda has been moving to these places. We have a well-established center in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. Swami Pareshananji is there. That is where the movement started. Swami Vijayananji Maharaj came there, and that's a well-established center. So publications, everything is there. But there is only one center. Okay, they have one sub-center, a retreat center like a big area just outside the city. So this is the center in Argentina, and there are some groups of Vedanta devotees, those who are interested in Vedanta and those who came into contact with Vedanta through Swami Tilak, who was a sadhu from a different sampradaya, from a different uh, tradition, but who used to speak about Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Swami Vivekananda, who was well read in our gospel, complete works. He was a wonderful sadhu, a very good sadhu, a highly noble person, and could inspire many people through his austere, simple, and devoted life. He was a very, very austere person. He used to travel around many parts of the world bare feet, even without slippers, just with two pieces of cloth. He would go and then stay on the roadside and meet people, and his life was so inspiring. He had even traveled to Russia, Moscow, so many other places, huh? Chile, Mexico, all these places. So he took Vedanta to some of these regions. Swami Vijayananji Maharaj also has traveled to some places in Peru and Chile. Nirmalatmaji has gone to Chile and Mexico. So if the mother wants, whenever the mother wants, there will be further development in these areas. So this is what we have done in Rio to show the understanding between Brazil and India, or trying to bridge the gap between the two countries in the way of tradition and culture. Yeah, the next. So this is an important thing that we are showing you here. In Brazil, there is a very famous church dedicated to a lady of Aparecida. Okay, that is the image there, the first image that you see there. Okay, Our Lady of Aparecida. This is a beautiful church. You see the church here below. Okay, so if you travel from Sao Paulo to Rio by car or by bus, specialized buses are there. They usually stop in this place. It's a pilgrim spot. Thousands, lakhs of people go there, and then they have great devotion for the Lady of Aparecida. She is considered as the saint of Brazil. Okay, the guardian saint, the patron saint of Brazil. A very interesting history is associated with this church. The fishermen, when they were fishing in the river, they found this beautiful image. It's a very small image. I've gone to the church. Very small, beautiful image, black stone image. So that is how they have dressed it and kept it, but it looks like Kali. So now, how do you explain how this came to that place, and then they immediately brought it to the church and established it? Now it has become a big center, a very big pilgrim center with thousands of people coming there every day. Huge parking place, all amenities. So beautiful place. So Our Lady of Aparecida is the guardian saint who is blessing us, all people of Brazil. So she's highly respected. Just as you find in India, people keep the image in the car and bus, and wherever you go, you find images of Rama, Hanuman, or Ganesha. You will find this image everywhere in Brazil, wherever you go. Okay, there is one here also in the hall. I found above, Lady of Aparecida. And then this is Lemanja, the mother of waters. She is worshipped by the Brazilians and by the Native Americans. There is a religion that is a combination of African religions, African traditions, and Christianity called Umbanda, okay, which is in practice in South America in many places. So these people worship this sea goddess called Lamanja on 1st January when we celebrate Kalpataru. Okay, they all take offerings of fruits and flowers to the sea and offer these fruits and flowers to the sea goddess as a worship to this goddess, Lamanja. So, mother worship or adoring the Supreme as mother is a part of the tradition there, you see. And this is about the uh, movement that started, I told you, when Swami Vivekananda became popular in America because of his Chicago lectures. So he was adopted. Swami Vivekananda and his message, his ideas, his wonderful words were taken as inspiration by a group of people who started a movement to bring in fresh ideas to Brazil. So this person was an Freemason movement started by Antonio Olivio Rodriguez, a Rico Liberaria do Círculo Esotérico. So this is the uh, library where they have in Sao Paulo. You can see the picture of Swami Vivekananda, the relief of Swami Vivekananda mounted on the wall. The other three people are Portuguese and Brazilian people. So he wanted to spread the ideas of Swami Vivekananda to bring in uh, liberal ideas and universal attitude among the people of Brazil. So Swami Vivekananda was popular even before Swami Vijayananda came. So the spread of literature had started well in advance. A ground was getting ready for Swami Vijayananda to come and then spread the message. And in answer to that, Belur Math sent Swami Vijayananda, as I told you in the lecture. The next one. So this is okay. This is the Institute Swami Ramakrishna. So it was initially called Misam Ramakrishna. He had named it as Misam Ramakrishna. Later on, Belur Math told him that it is not proper, it is illegal for you to keep the same name, Ramakrishna Mission. Of course, this is a mistake here, Ramakrishna Mission, Brazil. It is Missão Ramakrishna. Now it has been legally converted to Institute São Ramakrishna. He is Arlindo da Silva, who had the repeated visions of Swami Brahmananda, if you remember what I told you. Okay, he was a journalist by profession. He had a very small house in Belo Horizonte, the city. And he was an ordinary middle class man. He did not have many resources with him. Okay, so and then Ramanuji comes and then tells him in a vision to start teaching poor children, do something for the poor children. So he brought in some 3-4 students from his neighborhood and started teaching. Ramanuji came and again told him, "No, this is not enough. I'm not happy with this. Make a big infrastructure." So he started searching for a place, bought a place, a dry place, but he converted it into a beautiful place. If you go and see it now, it is so beautiful, full of trees, flowers, and plants, and many, many buildings where so many students learn all these vocational things. They are so happy, you see, and then free food is given to them. They get free food. They come by buses from different villages nearby. The buses bring them. They learn, have education, get vocational training, computer training, robotics, AI, all these latest things. And then the food and everything. The whole thing is sponsored by different industries and business houses. Okay, so they collect donations from these business houses, factories, or manufacturing places and train these children in different skills, say carpentry or machinery, printing, and all these things. And these industries absorb them later on, give them jobs. So this is a place where these labor is getting trained. So the industries provide for the facilities, and then they absorb them back. So most of the good students get jobs and all that facilities. So this is a beautiful institution. So let me make a clarification. This is not connected to Ramakrishna Mission in any way. Okay, it is not a part of the Ramakrishna movement in Brazil. Even in India, there are many organizations which have started with the inspiration of Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, or Holy Mother, or any of the direct disciples. But the Ramakrishna Mission is not connected to them. It is a separate trust. Yeah, they come to the Ramakrishna Mission, they come to the centers and maybe participate in some of our programs, but we are not directly connected in the management or administration of this institution. It is a completely separate institution run by a board of trustees who were with Arlindo later on and who are continuing now. He has passed away, but the institution is going. So when I went to see, there were more than 2,000 students who were going through the classes and all the training there. So by now, more than 10,000 or 20,000 students have passed out of the gates of this institution. Just imagine the impact that it has made on that part of society. So there is so much of development happening because of them. They are able to get money. Otherwise, they would all have been drug addicts or criminals because it's a poor place. Hmm? So many people have been provided a new life. It's a wonderful thing. See, and then Swami Brahmananji telling about this. Imagine. If Swami Vivekananda had come, then yes, we would have accepted it. Swami Vivekananda was always promoting service of God in man. And then Swami Brahmananji comes and tells and then inspires him to start. So this is a very interesting thing. The next. So here you have picture of Swami Vijayanandaji, who was a disciple of Swami Brahmanandaji, a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, the Manas Putra of Sri Ramakrishna, Rakhal Maharaj or Raja Maharaj. So he was an engineer by profession. He had studied engineering, a chemical engineer. He was a wonderful student, a very good student. He came and joined in Belur Math and was appointed as one of the sevaks of revered Shivananji Maharaj, Mahapurush Maharaj, another direct disciple, and had very great interaction with Mahapurush Maharaj and the other direct disciples, Master Mashaya, and all of them. He was a powerful, very strong person. There are disciples of Swami Vijayananji even now in Sao Paulo and Rio, and they say that he was a very forceful personality, spiritual and strong, forceful, but at the same time very loving personality. So he was highly respected. So in those days, there was no center in Rio. He came in 1932 to Argentina. He first came to Argentina, came by ship from India. So then in 1950s, a group of students from Rio approached him, requesting him to come to Brazil. So he started coming to Brazil, only to Rio first. So they used to hire a small house, accommodate him, and arrange for his lectures to different communities in the city. Rio was a capital then. Rio is now no more a capital. 60 years back, Rio was the capital of Brazil. Now the capital has shifted to Brasilia. So there used to be many, many lectures by Swami Vijayananji in the city for different uh, audiences, maybe the military, the navy, the police, the general public, and all this. So like that, they used to spread the message. Then he used to go to Sao Paulo also. He used to travel in Brazil for some time. He used to be there for around 2 months at a time when he used to come to Brazil. So then he passed away in 1973. So he had a very good uh, group of disciples, devotees who are still supporting our centers in Sao Paulo and Rio. They're all very, very steady. Swami Brahmananji must have given him some powers when he came. He could really influence people. He was a powerful personality. So he was followed by another Swami. He brought one Swami from Belur Math, Swami Paratparananda, to Argentina. Paratparanji was also very successful because he learned the language very quickly and had books on Ramakrishna Vivekananda translated. He gave a lot of importance to spread of literature. Okay, he was a very pleasing and nice personality. But after some time, he was called back to Belur Math and he had to go back to Belur Math. And he was followed in 1999 by Swami Nirmalatmananda, who has come here also. Okay,
Very recently.
recently. And then he has also participated in your retreats earlier. So Swami Nirmalatmananda, he was in the mission office in the general section. He was taking care of the office in the general section under many general secretaries. He's a wonderful Swami who was well acquainted with the traditions of the Ramakrishna order. And the first thing that he did, he came to Rio, and there was one disciple, lady disciple of Swami Vijayananji Maharaj, Cordelia. Uh, She had two small apartments in an area in Rio, Laranjeiras. So she was staying in one of the apartments, and the other apartment she gave for the Swami to start a center. So the Swami used to stay in one room, and there was another small room where they set up a shrine. They used to have arati, meditation, and all this regularly. He used to talk to devotees. 4 or 5 devotees used to come, and they used to sit and sing and have lectures there. So, like this, the movement started in Rio. So then, the first thing that he did was consolidating the movement by contacting all the disciples of Vijayaranji and bringing them together. So all people who had got connected, he brought them together, built a base, and slowly the movement became stronger. He started moving around, meeting people, making friends with people, I suppose learning the language at the same time. And then he started the center in Sao Paulo. He established it nicely, and then because of the support of the people, he could buy another house nearby and then merged it, had a nice temple. So he has done a lot of work. He is here for more than 25 years. He is the guru and gives initiation also. So Swami Nirmal Atmanandaji is liked by the devotees very much, very popular. Yeah. Next. So this is the Ramakrishna Vedanta Ashram in Argentina. This is Swami Pareshananji, Dhruva Maharaj, who is heading that, who came after Parat Parananji. Okay, so this is the house in Buenos Aires, the ashrama where Swami Vijayananji also stayed, Parat Parananji stayed, and now Pareshananji is there. This is a picture of Sri Ramakrishna Jayanti celebration that they had. So they had arranged a picture outside. So that's being shown to you. This is in Argentina, the only center in Argentina. Okay, next. This is our center in Rio. Okay, Ramakrishna Vedanta Center in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So this, first, there is no board. When I came, there was no board or any announcement that it's a center, because our previous president, Luis Antonio, who has been there for more than 60 years, was a disciple of Vijayananda. He was very afraid, oh, this is a Catholic country, there are Christians, maybe they will come and maybe throw stones or be. And he was afraid to have the name and everything advertised there. But I simply put it that there's no problem. People come and stand and read, and then because of the board, they come inside and ask, oh, what is this? What is Vedanta? What is yoga? They're so interested. They try to find out more. So it is by God's grace that everything is going on well. This is the house. So this house, as I was telling you yesterday, was built in 1865. 1865, when Sri Ramakrishna was still alive and living in Dakshineshwar. Of course, he would have known there must have been something like this. Everything is according to his will. So this is a very old house, 2 floors, you can see, and it's an independent house. Okay, independent house. The whole thing above is a big hall, you can see afterwards. And the structure is of stone and whale oil. There is no cement or anything. Wood, stone, and mud and whale oil. It's a beautiful structure. So this is the beautiful city of Rio, the most famous uh, statue of Christ the Redeemer on the top of the mountain. So you have Sugar Loaf, which is another beautiful mountain. There is a ropeway taking you from one mountain to the other mountain. A beautiful place, tourist spot, very popular tourist spot. These are some pictures of Rio to attract you to come to Rio. Yeah, the next one. These are the pictures of the activities of our center. Okay, uh, so during the class, You see, I was explaining the Yoga Sutra class, the Arati, uh, all the programs, group of devotees singing, and then having prasad. And when Swamis come to visit the center, when Nirmalatmaji comes or when other Swamis come, we have satsangs like you have here. We have some discussion on some spiritual topic, and then question answer session. People can ask questions, answers are given. So this is the activities of the Rio Center. You can see we have such a good audience always. So on Sundays for the lectures, we have around 35, 40. And when we have events like Sri Ramakrishna Jayanti or Sharada Devi Jayanti, Guru Purnima, 65, 85, sometimes even 100, more than 100. Okay. This is the social work in Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo. So social work, as I told you, involves distributing foodstuffs, dry foodstuffs, rice and noodles and other things to poor people, homeless people. We don't prepare food and give. We give it in dry material and they can use it as they want. So this is, we do it in Rio and in Sao Paulo also it is done regularly and more during Christmas time and during Christian festival time so that they can have some festivity at home. Distribution of toys, distribution of clothes, everything is shown here. It's done in a regular basis. In Rio, what we do, even in Sao Paulo, we have connected with some other organizations which do this type of philanthropic work. So our devotees go and give it to them on a regular basis. They do the service. We don't directly involve. The main problem is language for me first. Till I learn the language to get involved in all this will be difficult. Second thing is the focus of all the Ramakrishna Mission centers or Vedanta centers in the West, America, Europe, is spread of spiritual and cultural message rather than direct involvement in physical philanthropic work. We don't go to serve as we do in India because of the problems, legal problems, language problems, not knowing the situation. There are so many restrictions. We have to be careful in doing it. So most of the centers don't do this. It's mainly cultural and spiritual, isn't it, Swamiji? The legal rules are all complicated. So it's mainly cultural and spiritual. There's enough work. If you see our Swami Atmajnananda, you know how much work he does. So to add service again is more work for you. Okay, the next. So this is the Sao Paulo Shrine Center. Sao Paulo, it's a beautiful shrine. So they have puja every day. So it is a bigger center. So our Swami Nirmalatmananda is the president. There is one Swami Tapoyagnananda who is his assistant. So he does puja every day. And then there is one Swami Jitananda, who is a Brazilian, who was a student, engineering student, a very good student, rank student, highly qualified engineer, who joined the order through the Rio Center. He was coming to our Rio Center and reading books and everything, got inspired, and then joined under Swami Nirmalatmananji, and now is a sannyasi. He is the editor of the Vedanta magazine, a very good person, very good sadhu. So Swami Chitananda. So and now one more boy has joined from Rio, Vitor. Okay, he is a nurse by profession. So he has just joined maybe 5 months. After my going there, he started coming, got inspired, and wanted to join. Since I am alone and learning the language, I have sent him to Sao Paulo to get trained better. There are more monks he can observe and learn about monastic life. So he is another young boy, promising. Let's see what mother wants. So this is the shrine, that is the house, this is the temple of Sao Paulo Center. The above image, okay, is the temple. It was a church. It was a what marriage hall. Huh? It was a marriage hall, a community hall where they used to have marriages, of course, Christian weddings and all that. So it came up for sale, and it is just next to our uh, house, just two houses away from our Sao Paulo center. So Nirmalatmanji immediately made arrangements and purchased that thing, remodeled it a little, and it's a beautiful shrine. It's a big hall, as big as this, yes. And they can have events beautifully, and they have one small guest house and another house where the ashrama is situated. So three properties in all, big place. Okay, the next one. These are the books that are available in Portuguese on Ramakrishna Vivekananda Vedanta literature. So the four yogas of Swami Vivekananda, excellent translations, very well done, are available. They have been edited and perfected now. So these are available. Then the Eternal Companion has gone into four editions, if I'm right. That was the first book that came up because Vijayananji Maharaj was Brahmananji's disciple. So he used to speak about Brahmananji. The devotees of Rio and Sao Paulo are very much connected to Swami Brahmananda. Sometimes I feel they are more connected to Brahmananji than Swami Vivekananda. They love him more because, oh, our Guru's Guru. So, like that. So, Eternal Companion is a very popular book. Then there is Meditation by Swami Ritajanandaji, if I'm right. Is it? Okay. So, Swami Ritajanandaji was a disciple of Mahapurush Maharaj, Shivananji Maharaj. He was the head in France, Gretz. Okay. And he used to come almost once in 2 years for a month or 2 months and then stay in Brazil, in Rio, in Sao Paulo, and then there is a sub-center, Embogoso in Sao Paulo. It is a retreat center amidst the forest, beautiful farm, and a very silent place. He used to like that place and he used to come and stay there. And there used to be spiritual retreats and he used to give talks. He was a very inspiring person. So he has initiated some people also in Brazil when there was a gap and when there was no Swami in Brazil. Uh, he started uh, the practice of chanting Shiva Mahimna Stotra on every Monday. So we do this in all our centers in Brazil. Shiva Mahimna Stotra by Pushpadanta. So many of our devotees have memorized it so well that they chant the whole thing without any book. Every Monday we do it regularly. So on Tuesdays we chant Vishnu Sahasranama. Swami Brahmananji and Swami Yatishwaranji used to emphasize this for spiritual upliftment and purity of mind. So Vishnu Sahasranama. So we do this on Tuesday. On all the other days at 6:30 there is Arati. Arati with Khandana, Om Hrim Ritam, Sarvamangala Mangali. On Saturday and Sunday, when we have more devotees, we sing Prakritim Paramam also. Okay. On Sunday it is full Arati with flower and chamara and everything. Hmm? So that is the journal that we have, which comes once in 3 months. Huh? Vedanta. It's in Portuguese. Okay. So now Swami Nirmalatmananji is giving more emphasis to the spread of literature. Hmm? As I told you, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the latest perfect translation of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is coming now. It is supposed to be released sometime in December. It's already in the press. By November, December, he is planning to have it released by some dignitary from the embassy. He is already speaking to the ambassador and others. So something he is trying to do it, maybe by November, December. This is the Ramakrishna Vedanta Ashram in Embogoso. This is a sub-center, as I was telling you, of Sao Paulo. You see, you have a beautiful temple. The below is the dining hall and the rooms for the staying of Swamis. A big place. and above is the temple. And this is the farm-like area. It's a beautiful place amidst mountainous and forest area. Very, very quiet, absolutely quiet. You can go for walks, long walks, so nice, and meditate. It's a village like Embogosu. Swami Ritajananji, Bhaskaranji, many of our senior Swamis who visited Sao Paulo have visited to this place. Maharaj, have you been to this place? So beautiful. So many of our Swamis have gone here. Usually retreats are held here. Yeah. So this is the Belo Horizonte Center. Belo Horizonte Center is a beautiful center. You can see it has a nice house, independent house again. So the top has a temple and a place for lecture. Quite a big place. So the area of the house is around this much, exactly around this much. So half of this is the temple, the other half is lecture area in the top, with this library in the lecture area. And below, the same place has kitchen, living rooms, and dining hall, and all that. So this is a this good place. And then they also have another house just 2 minutes away from the ashrama, which is 3 floors, beautiful house, independent house meant for service activities. They have a computer training section there. They have yoga sessions that can be held there. All types of service activities can be done. Physiotherapy unit also with beds. Everything is ready. So they are just organizing. They could not continue the work because of the COVID. There was a break at the time of COVID time, the pandemic time. Just again start. So but it's a good center. There's a very good, dedicated group of devotees who are uh, committed to the movement there. There's no Swami there, but it's a official center, independent official center of the sub-center of Sao Paulo, Belo Horizonte. Belo Horizonte is famous because it's in the state called Minas Gerais, which is famous for mines. Gold was found in that area in 1700, and after that, all the gold mines and everything came up. It's a very popular place because of these industries, the mining industry and stones, precious stones, crystals, all these were found in that area. Even now, it's famous for these crystals, stones. This is Curitiba Center. This is another official center of the Ramakrishna Mission in Brazil. So three centers we have: Sao Paulo, Rio, and Curitiba. So there is Swami Pragnatmanandaji, who is here. He's a very popular, good musician, and he has been conducting classes regularly. This Curitiba is one of the most beautiful cities of Brazil. It's on the top of a hill. It's a high area, very cold, something like the Nilgiris or the Ooty and other areas in India. Okay, so it can the temperatures go up to 2, 3 or so in winter. Uh, Sometimes, very rarely, it does snow also. So this is the shrine there. So that is the house. It's also an independent house with a small garden. And most of the people who have settled there are Europeans from Germany, Portugal, and other places. So the population is a little different from what we have in Sao Paulo or Rio. Hmm? It's a European population there in that area. Oops. This is the house in Rio de Janeiro. This is the house that you're seeing, what you had already seen, some parts of the house. Huh? Okay, this is the place where we have some discussions, where we sit and then have talks and other things. People, so, some renovation work is going on. They have put pictures of that also. The wall is being repaired and these things. This is the Rio de Janeiro Center. I think that's it. This is the last. Yeah. So this much about the center. Yesterday, when I was uh, talking to you about the movement in Brazil, I missed on one point. There is another interesting incident which I would just like to mention. Is it okay? Yeah. So there's an interesting incident that happened connected to Brazil. There was one person who suddenly came to our center in Sao Paulo one day in the evening. Okay, around 5:30, the Sao Paulo center. So he just entered the Sao Paulo center. He came with one of his friends and wanted to see the center. He just saw the board outside. Oh, some Vedanta, some Ramakrishna, something. He did not know what it was. He wanted to find out and then just entered. And then, as soon as he came inside, he saw the picture of Holy Mother Sharda Devi there on the table. And suddenly his mood changed. He stopped there, started looking at the picture, started crying, and said, "Oh, this is the lady who saved my life." Now, the others started asking, "What is the matter? Why are you crying and what happened? What is the incident? Please sit down and tell us." So then he narrated what happened in his life. This has come in many of our journals, Global Vedanta, I think in Udbodhan also. Swami Vimalatmanji has written. It's a very popular incident. The name of this person was Antioni Piericlat. He was in Cairo, in Egypt, okay, as a young boy. They were settled there. And this young boy, around 12 or 13-year old, he had typhoid at one time. At one point of time, there was an epidemic like typhoid in that area. He contracted typhoid. And there was no medicine in those days for typhoid. Antibiotics were not yet discovered in those days. So, people who had typhoid would die after some time. After 5 days, 6 days, they would be just dying. So the parents thought this boy is also going to die. There was no recovery happening. Say it was almost 5, 6 days had happened, and they thought he is going to die. They lost all hope and had given up hope. He was lying on the bed, weak, terribly weak, and with typhoid. And suddenly he had the vision of a lady in white clothes. He could not recognize the clothes or the lady. He had never seen this lady. And then she was smiling, and then she came and put her hand on his head and gave something into his mouth. Okay, it was a vision, actual vision. He did not know what was happening. He just swallowed what she had put in his mouth, and from that time on, he started becoming better. This boy, whom the parents thought is going to die either that day or the next day, he started becoming better, became normal, and then after some time, they shifted from there to Brazil. He came to Brazil in Sao Paulo. They settled down in Sao Paulo, and he got a job, got married, and all that, started his usual life. But this was in his mind. Who is this lady who came and helped me? Who is that? He was trying to find out. Can I ever see some picture or something of her or get some information about her? He was going on searching and nothing happened. So one day he was going by the road in front of Sao Paulo with a friend and then saw this ashram something. He thought, oh, let me just see what is there here. Came inside and revealed what had happened in his life. He passed away recently. Our President Maharaj, when he came to Brazil in 2000, he came to Brazil in 2000. So he had just passed away at that time. So Maharaj had gone to see him in his house. He was on the deathbed at that time. He was not in a position to talk. But his brother, Samir, he has come quite a few times to our center. Yeah, the children are all Catholic Christians, and there's not much contact now. But this man used to come regularly. Every Sunday, he used to come to our center in Sao Paulo, participate in our prayer and everything. He was touched by Sharda Devi and recovered. He was ever grateful for this. So, this is another miracle that has happened. And Brazil has seen so many miracles, isn't it? Okay. Anything else to be told? No. This is
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So nice. It is all Sri Ramakrishna, Mother, who are working. Wherever there is any spread of Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Vedanta literature, yes, the people are very sincere. They want to know about Vedanta. They want to lead spiritual life. That is there. So Sri Ramakrishna, Mother, they are giving them peace, understanding, and spiritual light.
And
Let us
then
pray.
one of our Swamis went gliding off of the cliffs of Rio. I heard.
Huh?
When gliding off of the cliffs of Rio. One Swami from, I think, Washington, D.C.
Yeah, you see, Rio has these attractions. You can have gliding and all this, boating, gliding, surfing, of course, so many beaches and all these sports activities are there, mountaineering, all this. So I also heard that this famous Swami from Washington D.C. did. Nirmalatmanji also has done. I heard.
I only went because he wanted to go.
Yeah, yeah. He's a sportsman.
It was for me. It was
Well,
for him.
he told different story to us.
Yeah, but I'm telling the real story.
He is a sportsman. He was a sports
Yeah, yeah.
person,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he is.
Daredevil.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
But yes,
Thank you so much.
it's one of the most beautiful places. It was one of the best trips I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, Rio is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, entire world.
Yeah.
You will not find such a beautiful city in any other place. The main thing being, it has plenty of beaches, beautiful beaches. The ocean is there, and then you have forest within the city. A very, very beautiful thick forest where you can walk and trek for maybe the whole day. No wild animals, nothing to fear. So it was actually coffee estates. At that particular time, there was some infestation. All the coffee plants died, and the king decided to have a forest, natural forest, untouched forest. So all
Or then jackfruit
they have jackfruit also. Yes.
all over us.
Yeah, jackfruit is an invasive species, so it has just spread like anything. Yeah. So they have mango, jackfruit, banana, many, many Indian varieties. So the trees, forest is there, mountains are there, the beaches, the ocean is there, river is there. Waterfalls is Iguazu is not exactly in Rio. It is on the border between Argentina, Brazil. Yeah, Brazil. It's a far, but it's beautiful. In fact, I also seen it. It's better than Niagara. But Americans have a way of making propaganda. You see, when there is rain, it is beautiful, more beautiful than Niagara. Very good. Okay.
So the
Let's-
Bible is translated into Portuguese.
Gospel.
Yeah, sorry, the gospel.
It was already translated. They are making a better translation now, more appealing translation, including photographs and everything. The earlier translation was by some person, by a professor, so was not very accurate with the Vedanta and other terms that Sri Ramakrishna uses. So now it's an accurate translation that's happening.
So after India, Swami Brahmananda leads
Disciple.
disciple. Is there any other country where we have Swami Brahmananda's disciples who have started centers like we know Vivekananda ji?
Vivekananda, yes. No, in India, there are many centers which were
India,
started.
of course.
Yeah, in India. In America, most of the centers were started by Swamiji's disciples. Of course, Swamiji himself started two societies, and the disciples of Swamiji and Swami Brahmananda, Pranavananda, and others, they only started, consolidated the movement here. And Swami Nishresananji was a disciple of Swami Brahmananji. He started a movement in Africa. So it's everywhere. They were the pioneers, the disciples of Swamiji and Brahmananji. and later Swami Shivananda's disciples.
So
That was the second generation. The first generation was the direct disciples.
I have a question. Is it Vijayananda Pashupati Maharaj?
Pashupati Maharaj.
Who was the lantern, showing the lantern?
Huh?
Lantern, he used to show the lantern.
No, that
No,
Pashupati
this-
Maharaj is different.
Oh.
There were
that's
many
what I thought.
Pashupatis.
Yeah, that was,
Okay.
I was,
Because he came away to Brazil in 1930. So he came away to Argentina in 1930s.
oh.
This one, Vijayanandji, this Pashupati Maharaj whom you are referring to in Shillong was much later.
Oh, acha. I was confused. And I
Yes,
was,
yes.
because I heard
I
the
think-
name Pashupati Maharaj.
I think this Pashupati Maharaj's name was Swami Prabhananda
Prabhananda?
too. Swami Prabhananda too.
Oh.
The Prabhanandaji who was our vice president
Right.
was Prabhananda III,
Oh, acha. I didn't know that.
I think, yeah.
So
If I'm
Swami
right.
Prabhu- And in Brazil, there is a doctor who helped in so in
Ernani, Dr. Ernani.
He's
He's a disciple of, yes, he's still there. He and his brother, he's a disciple of Swami Vijayanandji. Correct.
Yeah. He told me.
He's a cardiologist, yeah, very
He
famous
is
doctor.
famous.
Very famous doctor.
Yeah. He took us for the lunch with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is
We had
a
been to Brazil not too long ago. So.
very generous
Yeah.
person, Dr. Ernani.
Yeah.
He, his brother, his wife, they all come regularly.
I see. Wife was at the-
He's a very silent and nice
Son,
person.
yeah. And his wife was sick at that time.
And she's doing well now.
I see.
She comes.
Nirmalatmananda told that he helped
Yeah.
a lot,
Yes.
to build up the Rio.
Yes,
Center
yes.
and-
Rio, Sao Paulo Center. Yes.
Sao Paulo Center to teach them.
He is the main person behind.
And,
Okay, I think the food is getting ready. We should stop here and go for.
So, Vijayananda is Portuguese?
No, Espanol.
So then they could. Work.
Yeah, the Portuguese people, the Brazilian people can understand Espanol, but the Spanish people can't understand Portuguese so well. Though these some languages are related, very close. But thank you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.